This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout, freebets.com. Gareth telling people to be quiet here.
There's an interview going on here. We've got Pew Pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert Diddle and Grubb.
Well, we're here in London Bridge, the Breakfast Club. We've just been treated to a lovely breakfast. How are things, mate? How is everything?
Lovely. I had a little tequila, tiny little tequila. About to go for lunch, Frank Warren. Great to see Dalton Smith. Things are good. Haven't seen you for a while. Haven't seen you since Saudi.
Since Saudi? No, mate, we saw each other. I'll tell you when the last time we saw each other. Buatsi Aziz, mate. On that workout, that's when I could remember the last time.
Oh God, when Spencer Oliver beat me up.
That's the last time, mate.
In the nicest possible way. When was that? January?
January, around end of January, start of Feb, mate. Yeah, we don't catch up much, Gareth, for some reason.
You sit back and you're not aggressive enough is what happens, whereas, the others jump in where some fear to tread. I don't know why everything I say is so funny this morning, but it's great to see you, Lewis.
Absolutely, it's good to see you too, Gareth. We're here. Dalton Smith is obviously here. Had an emphatic win over Jose Zepeda on Saturday night. Just reflecting on that whole card. Great card in Sheffield, and Dalton putting in a massive statement there.
Yeah, great win by Sandy Ryan. Very powerful. Got Terry Harper out of there after 3 rounds. I can't wait to see. I think Lauren Price will beat Jessica McCaskill, and I think we're going to end up with a ding-dong, British ding-dong with Ryan and Price. Really looking forward to that. And I thought Dalton Smith was very, very good. Really laid a statement down in the 140 division, which is amazingly stacked globally. And I do agree with the fact that it's not the right time for Adam Azim to step up and fight him, because he's not there yet. They're at different stages of their development. But as you say, the breadbasket punches, Barry Jones put it on commentary. Beautiful step-in punch, and Dalton really made a statement in the division. And as Dalton, you'll have spoken to Dalton this morning, as he said himself, he wasn't expecting necessarily to stop Jose Zepeda, but brilliant performance, and I'd love to see him fight Regis Prograis next. It's just the perfect guy for him to fight. British audience likes Prograis. They can get a small arena and sell that out. Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely, and obviously this was a stacked domestic card this weekend, and obviously on Sunday as well. It's a very, very, very good domestic card with Wardley Clark. May get onto that in a minute, but it's good that whilst boxing in Saudi Arabia is thriving and we're seeing a lot of domestic fighters go over to Saudi Arabia, good that we're still keeping the roots domestically and we're still getting good cards there.
No, you've got to do grassroots. All Parliamentary Party Group is something I've got involved with recently. We need funding for the grassroots community clubs. That's where all our great boxers come from. There's a great clutch of young fighters coming through anyway. America's jiggled and catalysed at the moment. We need it in the UK. Look at the performances of people like Nathan Heaney and Liam Davis and others at the moment coming through. Nick Ball, Hamza Shiraz, all these guys coming through at that level. Obviously we want to see the Boatsis and the Yards and the Richards and all those guys fight each other. Ben Whittaker's coming through. There's a conveyor belt. Someone's used the word conveyor belt earlier. It's the right word for it. You need a conveyor belt of talent coming through. It's Dalton. And in 5 events, the whole of the heavyweight division globally has been shook, but in the greatest way. Once we've had Ring of Fire and 5v5, we've seen pretty much all the heavyweights in the top 20 in action in Saudi. But there's more to come, I think, and I think there's a crispness about boxing at the moment. There's a rejuvenation about it. There's an enthusiasm there that wasn't there maybe a year ago, where we were slightly in the doldrums, in my view. But having witnessed this 4 or 5 times in my career over 30 odd years, there are times when it seems to lull, the doldrums as we call it, where there is no wind in the sails, and then people emerge again. It's just one of those algorithms involved in the combat sports world.
Absolutely, and as I was
sailing at the moment though, we're sailing with a stiff breeze. It's an amazing time.
And obviously, whilst things in Saudi Arabia are great, there's also an importance that we still want to see a lack of see a value in our domestic cards. And when Matchroom put on that, it's important.
There is a value, but that's catalysing those cards here. They're never going to forget about the cards here. Eddie Hearn would never do that. Frank Warren, Ben Shalom, Bob Arum and his Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, all these guys, they're not going to forget those cards, because everyone's been around too long to realise that the investment's amazing. It is shaking up the sport and changing it, but you've got to feed the grassroots and the mid-tiers and the mid-level tiers and your fans to be able to come and see it live. That's why it was amazing when His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh said about, we want to do an event in the UK in September. I mean, come on. That is amazing for the fans. It just shows that he gets it. He really gets it. And, you know, behind the scenes, I'm hearing, I can't reveal anything in detail, but I'm hearing that there is a big card being planned for September, and the fans won't be disappointed.
Absolutely, and I want to keep it sort of relevant because I know you spoke to Matt on Monday. Obviously, news yesterday about the
lifesaver.
Yeah, the lifesaver still saving lives about a year on from then. So, yeah, almost a year on from now. Yeah. So obviously,
I had a fight with two walls that night. I did. Saved me.
So last night, obviously, the news came out from the Daily Mail about the Conor Benn, the UKAD and British Boxing Board of appeal against Conor again has been successful. Did come at a bit of a shock to a lot of people that this was successful, a long process. I suppose, was you shocked, and what do you think of it?
I was a little shocked, Lewis. I was a little shocked. I thought Ben might win, or the Boxing Board of Control and UKAD wouldn't win the appeal. But they're perfectly within their rights to have won that, because they've lost on. They lost the appeal initially on jurisdiction, not liability, and to be honest, we haven't had any recourse to see strict liability around those two positive tests for clomiphene. Whether Ben's innocent or not, or whether the testing system was wrong or not, or was contaminated and it didn't come out right, and I don't disbelieve him that he believes he's totally innocent. We haven't had the case heard for strict liability, so in some ways they've been proven right by winning the appeal. But what it leaves us is we're still a year and a half into the case, full of grey matter and obfuscation, and it not being handled clearly in a linear fashion. And it's honestly, like I said, I've been in this a long time. It's one of the most complicated drugs cases I've ever been around. And Conor Benn's been out for 18 months, but he's had 2 fights in America under a different license. There's big fights here for him. You know, there's welterweights emerging. There's still Chris Eubank fight. I think that fight will happen still, in my view. But will it happen in the UK because of this scenario? The Boxing Board of Control is not commenting about it. UKAD aren't. Come on, let's have some clarity. I don't know where they go from here. Apart from Conor Benn, probably, as I read in Riyadh Al Samurai's piece, and I agree, their next move is probably to the Court of Arbitration in Sports to get it looked at again, which is a big, independent, global body looking at sports cases.
Just a final one from me. With that whole case, how long do you think that will take?
Oh, it is so hard to know, but all of this time, as he's become a father for the second time, and congratulations to him, it's just expending his best years. He's 26, 27 now. These are his best years. I've said it a million times. I just don't think that the whole thing's been handled in a great way. As the sun comes out, finally, let's hope the sun comes out on this case. They sit around a table, they find a solution, they get the case over the line, they get some agreements in place, and they let the big fights happen. Because Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, if it ever happens, should happen in the UK.
Absolutely. Gareth, as always, a pleasure chatting to you, mate. And yeah, it doesn't happen often, but it's always nice and good when it does happen, mate.
It's always a pleasure to see you and speak to you.
Top man, mate. Thank you. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I think I will be seeing you later as well at the Adam Smith
lunch. I'm on a podcast with Lady Chan.
Who's Lady Chan?
Lady Chan, she's a rapper and a podcaster.
Gonna be spitting some bars?
I don't even know what that means, so I'm not going to say yes or no. No comment. And spitting some balls.
Spitting some bars.
Oh, bars. Yeah. I thought you said balls. Yeah. Spitting some bars. I'll leave that to Charlie Parsons. Yeah. He's the best rapper around, isn't he? No, she's a good rapper. I've been watching some of her stuff actually. She's got some amazing Jamaican British rap. Yeah. I think she's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing her later. And then it's off to the management boxing. The Art Deco building, that isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, absolutely. Gareth, as always, a pleasure, mate. Top man.
I'm going inside to warm up. It's freezing.
You do that, mate. Top man. Thank you. Cheers.